Assalamu alaikum dear students. Okay, so today we are going to start with a new topic, that is photosynthesis. Let me give you general introduction about photosynthesis. So you might have studied in your 10th class that what is photosynthesis. It is simply the synthesis of food by green plants. Okay, so the food which they synthesize is actually carbohydrates, they are sugars. Okay, so what plants do, they take carbon dioxide from here, and they take water from the soil, and then they combine this carbon dioxide and water with the help of sunlight. Okay, in presence of sunlight, and there is one protein molecule used in this, which is chlorophyll molecule. They combine these carbon dioxide and water to form glucose. Okay, to form glucose, that is C6H12O6. So this is generally the process of photosynthesis. Now this light energy, in this process what happens, this light energy, the solar energy, the light which comes from the sun, it is converted into chemical energy, right? So carbon dioxide, 6 times carbon dioxide plus 12 times water, this is the general reaction, this is the general photosynthesis reaction. 6 times carbon dioxide plus 12 times water, in presence of sunlight it form C6H12O6 plus 6 times water, it is released, and oxygen is also given out. So we generally say that these plants, they take carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. This process is known as photosynthesis. Now this oxygen which is released due to photosynthesis, it is taken by animals. So what we say that we are plants, animals cannot live without plants, right? We are dependent upon plants, we are dependent upon trees and plants, right? So why? Because these plants, these trees, they release oxygen which is taken by animals for their respiration, for their life, for the sustenance of their life. Now this photosynthesis, it is an anabolic. Anabolic means, there is metabolism. This metabolism has two types, anabolism and catabolism. In catabolism, the compound is broken down into its different components, right? But in anabolism, or in anabolic reaction, different components, they combine to form a single compound. So it is an anabolic reaction. Second point is that it is the endergonic. Means here the heat, the energy, it is taken by the components to form the compound. So there are two types of reactions, endergonic and exergonic. Exergonic reactions are those reactions which release energy. When reaction takes place, the energy is released. But endergonic are those reactions where the energy is needed for the reaction to occur, right? So it is endergonic reaction. Third is, it is reductive process. It is reductive. What is reduction? Reduction is simply addition of hydrogen, right? So addition of hydrogen, it is reduction. So what happens here? This carbon dioxide, it is reduced, hydrogen is added to the carbon dioxide to form glucose, right? So here carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates. 90% of total photosynthesis, it is carried out by algae. The algae which is present in freshwater and oceans, okay, marine algae and freshwater algae, they carry out the 90% of the photosynthesis. Now, photosynthetic apparatus, the site for photosynthesis. Where does this photosynthesis takes place? So you know that in plants, the photosynthesis takes place in green parts. So if there is green stem, this green stem contains chloroplast. The cells of the stem contain chloroplast. They can carry out photosynthesis. Generally, this photosynthesis occurs in leaves, right? The leaves are green. So these leaves, they carry out the photosynthesis. And where in leaves the photosynthesis occurs? Leaf cells, these green cells, these leaf cells, they contain special organelles in their cells which are known as chloroplasts, and these chloroplasts are the actual site of photosynthesis. So here is the structure given of a chloroplast. On your right, the black and white image, it is the actual SEM, scanning electron micrograph of a chloroplast, and here this is the graphic representation. The green one is the graphic representation. So here you will find different parts of a chloroplast. Now first of all, you will see on the left side there is outer membrane. This is outermost membrane of chloroplast. Then there is intermembrane space. Then there is inner membrane. So the space which is present between inner membrane and outer membrane, it is known as intermembrane space. Now inside the chloroplast, you'll find the stacks. You'll find these these disc-like structures one above the other. These are known as thylakoids. Okay, these are known as granum. This one is known as granum. Granum is simply what? The stack of thylakoids. Then there is thylakoid lamella, right? So there are some thylakoids which join one granum to another. These thylakoids are known as stroma lamella or thylakoid lamella. Then there is a inside this chloroplast these grana, where these thylakoids are present, it is known as stroma. Stroma is nothing, it is simply what the aqueous fluid which is present inside the inner membrane. So here next part is that we are going to discuss these parts separately. So a typical plant cell, it contains around 50 chloroplasts. Okay, a typical, so per cell chloroplasts, there are around 50 chloroplasts per cell. So you know that these chloroplasts, they are also known as semi-autonomous organelles because they contain DNA. Again, mitochondria, it is also a semi-autonomous organelle because it also contains circular DNA, right? So here these chloroplasts, they are unique organelles, they contain DNA, and they are thought to be originated as endosymbiotic bacteria. So what they say that these chloroplasts, these mitochondria, they were once they were living as separate bacteria. Then they entered these in eukaryotic cells and they became the organelles of that cell, eukaryotic cell. So that is why they are known as endosymbiotic bacteria. Means these are the bacteria. It is actually a theory, a hypothesis. These are the bacteria which live inside which live inside the eukaryotic cells as symbiosis. Symbiosis means that process in which both the partners get benefit. So here what happens? These chloroplasts, they also get benefit, and the cell in turn also gets benefit. That is why endosymbiotic bacteria. Then the shape of chloroplasts, it is generally biconvex or planoconvex shape, means convex shape. Okay, and let's move to the parts of this chloroplast. Now the first part of chloroplast is outer membrane. So it is semi-porous, semi-permeable membrane, and it is permeable to small molecules and ions. So it cannot pass larger molecules through it. Okay, larger proteins through it. Then there is intermembrane space, which is usually a thin intermembrane space about 10 to 20 nanometers. Then inner membrane, which is the important one, and this inner membrane, it forms a border to the stroma. I told you that inside the inner membrane there is aqueous substance, aqueous liquid-like substance, which is known as stroma. So this stroma, it is bordered by this inner membrane. And the function of this inner membrane, that it acts as the regulation membrane, means it regulates the passage of materials in and out of the chloroplast. So also fatty acids, lipids and carotenoids, they are synthesized in this inner chloroplast membrane. Then there is stroma. Stroma is alkaline, means basic aqueous fluid which is protein rich, right, and is present within the inner membrane of the chloroplast. So inner to the inner membrane of the chloroplast, there is stroma, which is alkaline, aqueous fluid and protein rich. The space outside the thylakoid is called as the stroma. And the space outside the thylakoid space, I told you that inside the stroma there are thylakoids. Thylakoids are there are actually grana. Grana are what? Actually the stacks of thylakoids. So outside these thylakoids, outside these grana, there is this stroma. The chloroplast DNA. So what is contained in this stroma? Chloroplast DNA, chloroplast ribosomes, thylakoid system, starch granules, and many other proteins. They are present, floating around the stroma. What is thylakoid system? Suspended in the stroma, the thylakoid system, it is a collection of membranous sacs, meaning there are sac-like structures, disc-like structures which have their own membranes. These membranous sacs, they are called as thylakoids. And this chlorophyll, the chlorophyll molecule that we see, the chlorophyll A, the chlorophyll B, other photosystems, photosystem 1, photosystem 2, which we will talk later on, these are present. These all molecules, chlorophylls, photosystems, they are all present in these thylakoids, on the membranes of these thylakoids. And this thylakoid, it is the site for light reaction of the photosynthesis. As we know, later on we will study that this photosynthesis, it is divided into two phases, light reaction and light independent reaction, which is known as Dock reaction. So light reaction, that is photophosphorylation, that takes place on these thylakoid membranes. Because why? Because these thylakoid membranes, they contain photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. These photosystems are the actual reaction centers where the solar energy is absorbed, in which the solar energy is absorbed. Now these thylakoids, they are arranged in stacks, okay, which is known as grana. So grana is simply what? a stack of 10 to 20 thylakoids. Now, the photostem 1 and photostem 2, as I already told, they are complexes that harvest light with chlorophyll and coronate. They absorb light energy, and all these things, these chlorophyll molecules, photostem 1, photostem 2, they are all present on these thylakoid membranes. So here is the diagram of a thylakoid membrane. Now, what you see here is that this is the thylakoid lumen. You will find thylakoid lumen, and then you will find the thylakoid membrane. On the thylakoid membrane, you will find there are light harvesting center 2. Primer, there is photosystem 2. The green structure, they are photosystem 2. Then there is cytochrome, another protein, leave it. Then there is PS1, photosystem 1. This PS1 is usually present on the thylakoid lamellae, or you can say stroma lamellae. And there is one more important protein molecule which is known as ATP synthetase, because in chloroplasts ATP is synthesized. When we will talk about light reaction, or when we talk about this photophosphorylation, cyclic and non-cyclic, you will see that this phosphorylation means the synthesis of ATP in presence of light. So this, for the formation of this ATP, for the synthesis of this ATP, there must be an ATPase molecule, because ATPase molecule, it is a protein molecule which is used for the synthesis of ATP. So this ATP molecule, these ATP synthetase molecules, they are also present on the thylakoid membranes. Okay. So this is all about this chloroplast and introduction to photosynthesis. Tomorrow we will talk about these photosystems. Thank you.